Okay, so it's time to make some simple Christmas crafts. I've got this nice piece of scrap wood. I'll make a couple of rustic Christmas trees out of this. So there's a nice little grouping of Christmas trees. Woohoo! I'm going to get them sanded up and paint them. Well, Gina's going to paint them and make them look fantastic.
Woohoo!
So here's the piece of furniture we picked up on Marketplace. I gave it a good cleaning and I sanded it down in some areas where the finish was kind of torn up a little bit. So I had to hit it with a sander. This is an MDF piece with a laminate covering. Most of it looks really nice except for these areas, so what I'm going to try to do is touch it up with some paint and stain and see if I can get it to look similar, at least, to the rest of the finish. Alright, first I'm going to hit it with some bonding primer so that whatever finish I do put on there will stick. Okay, let's let that dry. We'll come back with some paint. So while waiting for the primer to dry, I've mixed up some brown craft paint and a little bit of black craft paint to try to get close to the color. There's a couple other nicks here around on the piece. I'm just going to try to fill in with that paint. Dab a little bit on. Give it a real light wipe with a rag. It really fills in that spot. If you weren't looking for it, you probably wouldn't see the little blemish there.
So we have the handles for this piece, and they were black, that came with it. And I could absolutely touch up the black paint, but there's some silver coming through, and I thought, yeah, so why not make this an opportunity, because we have some gold going on in his room soon, some gold elements. So I'm going to add this metallic paint. I'm going to use our thing. There's dry paint pretty much in certain spots, so it's not. So I'm going to stick to a dry spot, trying not to get the other colors in there. And I'm just going to dab a little bit, making sure you can see. I'm not sure you can see where I'm at. Okay. Okay, so put a little gold there. I'm going to kind of dab it out. And there's A little bit of black paint coming with it because there was a little bit of black. I'm going to let that mix in with it. Do like kind of a buffing. So it kind of has like a little bit of a goldish sheen, but that black is underneath. So like a metallic touch. So you still see some of the black coming through, but I want it to just be almost a hint of that. Just a hint of that metallic. It's almost like if you would do a rub and buff. It's the same type of thing, but we're just doing a hint of it with a little brush. So I have like a little piece. This had popped off one of those painter's brushes that comes in a kit. And I still keep it because it actually makes it easier to hold. He has a bold, modern design room, and we're going with just that hint of metallic. The metallic paint is this right here, so you can see. And so as you can see, that was from the Dollar Tree, $1.25. You can find these also at Walmart. It's very inexpensive. And you only need like a little touch of it, so this should last a long time, depending on what you use it for. It's that time of year again, folks. The best part, it's getting this Christmas village going. So we put the village downstairs in our finished basement. We had a sofa here at one point, and springs had come up. It was just getting older. We actually inherited that from my aunt. So when she moved to a different state, she left behind furniture. It was in great condition. She gave it to us in decent condition, but it was older and it was maybe not as plush and comfortable, but it worked for a long time. It wasn't quite our style, but it was something that worked for a while. We loved it. We're very grateful for it. But it was time. So we moved that out, and we've been looking for something since. So for now, because of that, we had this space. So we brought, which is great, because the village seems to get, even though we're not adding much more except maybe little accessories like people or trees, it hasn't really gotten much bigger as far as adding homes and businesses to that town. But we still felt like it needed to come down here. Also, we've all moved into the office, so it's kind of an office for everyone in that old guest room. That used to be my daughter's room, became a guest room, became an office, then a guest room / office, now an office for everyone. So that's a project we're going to be tackling into the new year to perfect the decor of it. But for now, we decided, because we don't have the space up there like we did last year, we brought it down here. And I'm not sure how we fit this up there. So I'm thrilled. We kind of moved some furniture around. It's going to be maybe a zone where you can come down and view it and mingle. And there's some seating, but we don't have the sofa here. Next year could be a very different story if we, hopefully by then we found a sofa. So for now, I'm going to just I'm just going to show you. It's finished. We didn't show this time us setting it up, but I will go through different elements so you can see. So this is it lit up. We're very excited about it. We try to do somewhat of a storyline going on. Every year the town changes slightly, which is really cool. We have kind of a lake area where we have an old mill and a lake and stream here. It's more like a pond than a lake, I guess you could say. And then we have our skating area. You can hear the humming of them skating around the pond. And then we have our main street, which goes all the way down on that lower level. And then we have another pond area where it's a little bit more set into nature a little bit. And then we have another mill and a town. Well, we have, I think at one time it was actually a church, but the way it's built, it actually reminded me of a town hall. So we've now made this our town hall and the clock tower. We have some carolers and a band playing. So here we are in the town hall, and then we have a library, and we have a little gate and maybe more of a Gothic fence to go leading up to it. And so what we have here, just so we can point these out, a few elements that we use that may give some ideas. If you have some yourself, that would be great. We're always looking to improve our village. But here we have, it came in a package one time. We had this brown, strong, so not styrofoam, but it's this strong cardboard. And it was like an open box where something fit inside that. We turned that upside down, and it's also on top of other styrofoam. So this built this whole area up here. So we have more like a little mountain top here. If you look back at some old videos, you can see maybe about a year or so ago, we had redone our fireplace. We had made a chimney, and we bought from a company this stacked stone. It's faux. And so we had pieces of it. So I used it for the village. So we did that and put some fluffy snow on top. That's the back of that. This was a styrofoam, not really styrofoam. It's kind of like a plasticky styrofoam. It's different, but it came out with this, I forget what we ordered, but it had this like circle cut out. So we had added plywood underneath, attached it, like glued it to it, and we had painted different blue through it. So it looked like water. And this almost looks like a snowy edge around the lake. So we had used that. So basically last year's village, you can see us doing that project. And then here, I usually have different sizes of styrofoam to make it look like, so the town hall's up above the town slightly, but not quite as tall as the mountains, but it's up a little bit more. And then we have different layers of long, thinner styrofoam. So we have that almost like steps. And then all of this is covered with a sheet, white sheets. So that really helps to give that snowy appearance. I'm not really sure what in the world this is, but it's some sort of gray foam that we had from something. So we had basically cut out little pieces in it and made jagged edges so it looked more like rock. And then we painted a little bit over of dark gray and black, and it was already gray. So we used that for like a piece of mountain. And then these are just right here. These are just sticks from the yard that we spray painted white and added a little bit of a clear and white glitter so it really shone when the lights were on. So it made it look like some trees where the leaves might have fallen off. We have a few of them, if you can see that here and there. Can you remember this big mountain? We made this last year with pieces of masonite. Paul had, a long time ago, we made a desk for our daughter that was kind of built into her wall and had like a big L shape. And when we had taken it down and she had gotten old, as she had gotten older, we kept this, we kept these pieces. We keep everything. And we had used that mudding that we had used to do our fireplace and whatnot. So like a spackly mud. So we had done that to kind of make it look like snow and painted over it. And we had used this, it's kind of a wrapping that comes in packages sometimes. I'm not really sure what exactly it's made of, but it's great. We had sheets of that. So we had kind of bunched it up with some newspaper underneath and painted it gray and white and sprayed it with like a snow and some white paint. And we just made this whole thing look like a rustic mountain with boulders and rocks, and I'm hoping you think so, but we love it. And then these pieces here were masonite coming down, so it looks like a road and like a slope going down. If you're interested in seeing how we built this, please look back at an old video, last year's Christmas Village. I will leave links at the bottom of this video so you can see, so you know what all of this is made of. Then again, there's more styrofoam, and this is like a box shape, so we wanted to bring that up. It adds, when you add different heights and levels to it, it really makes it come alive. It's not just a bunch of houses sitting on a table. It really makes it look more of a town, and it just comes together. In some of these homes, you know, we have accessories, but there were bags of that we had laying around of like stone. So we just kind of lined them up so it looked like walkways. Maybe curve it around on one of them so you can see. You can just make little shapes and designs with the rocks and make it look like a walkway. So, a couple of different things. these tables, we had 2 long tables that we had, and we have, again, white sheets, but we have what we had left for white sheets to cover the rest of it is a fitted sheet. So we have this little spot here. We're going to kind of figure out something of what to do with that here. But what's great about this opening is we can go in there and turn it on and off. We have a large power strip, and that's great because all the cords go in that, and you just have to flick it on. We have a couple of those because of the space, this area that it has here, and all the plugs that we had to have 2 different ones. I will put the link for that down below. It's a great Amazon power strip. I really, really love it. It's from Amazon. I shouldn't say it's by Amazon, but it's from Amazon, and I will link that. So if you're curious for just about anything, but if you're also doing a village, it's a great power strip for that. And it's about $27. So that really works though when you have a lot to plug in. What's great is it leaves a lot of space for adapters and large plugs and smaller plugs. There's all different kinds of elements on this. So it's not just like a regular power strip. This really is, it's worth the price. And it's great because it'll last us for a very long time. So that's that. For this table right here, we needed more space than just these long tables. So we used a bureau over there that we had from a roadside rescue not too long ago. You don't mind the pillow, we're still in fall right now. So I had done this early because it really does take a while, and it just gets us in the spirit. It gets us excited about the holiday coming. So, and if we ever have guests for Thanksgiving, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. If we do, it gives us something to go look at, some entertainment. But so that roadside rescue bureau was something we picked up, oh gosh, maybe a year ago, but we can show you that video as well. We'll leave that link as well if you're interested in how we had redone that. And it houses all of our DVDs in there and some memorabilia and tapes, videotapes from a long time ago of like videos from our children and whatnot. So that's really nice. So we have that hidden in there, but we had this bureau and we kind of moved that over to this wall, and then these 2 long tables that we use for tag sales or projects, crafting, whatnot, and also for our villages. This table right here is a square glass top patio table that we had picked up on the side of the road for free, and we had touched up the paint on it and used it for a gathering this summer, but it came in handy, so we brought it inside and used it for our village. And again, this part right here is an old tablecloth. We do have sheets, but this is a tablecloth, so it all kind of blends in like snow. And the point, and this right here is a tote, because we brought it down another level. So we brought out a large tote that we had our Christmas village in, some of our Christmas village in, so we use that as well. And the topper at the end is always fluffy snow that we get. And what's great about the fluffy snow is it hides all the cords. So if you're strategic, but then you also not just put it with the cord, you also have to kind of have it go around the village so it looks like you're not just hiding cords and it looks like a straight line of snow. You want it to look authentic, like it's snowing in the town. And then, of course, it's usually like a polyfill. And then, of course, you want to end it with like a flake snow, which is great. So that flake snow, you just kind of take it and you act as if it's snowing. You kind of sprinkle it down everywhere, here and there, and you have what looks like snowfall. I sprinkle it on top of the polyfill, but I also sprinkle it on the walkways and their roads and here and there, so it looks like snow is falling everywhere. I hope you like it. We love it. Every year it changes just slightly. So we have here our little neighborhood. We have up on the mountains for people who live up there and are skiing and driving down the roads into the town. And we have our farm area. And then we have some forest back there. We have our town hall and our town buildings, like our fire station or post office. And that goes all the way down Main Street. And then behind it is the pond and a little mountain range area. And we have a nice skating rink with like a country club there, and people go skating and rent skates. And then over there we have our pond. So there it is, folks. We hope you enjoy it. I'd like to know if you also make a village, and what do you do? What do you use? If you have any tips or tricks, or if you like what you see here, please comment. It's very appreciated, and it really helps our channel engage in some conversation, and we just love to hear what you have to say. And also, hit the like button if you like it. So today I'm making these snowflakes. So I am making them with little mini clothespins. Each bag was $1.25 at the Dollar Tree. We got 4 just in case. I'm going to try to make 2. And we have wood glue. And we have also this from the Dollar Tree. Little snowflake cutouts. They're like ornaments. But we're going to put that on top of it. You'll see when it all comes together. And then these little beads, these wooden beads, were also from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. And we're going to put that in the center. We're going to paint them with a white craft paint and a gold metallic paint over that. Try to mix it and try to do some kind of cool thing. And then we have, I bought 2 of these for $1.25 each. We're going to do glitter to kind of finish it off and make it sparkle. So let's see how it all comes together. So we have a basic template, and basically we had put this like this and just kind of mapped it out. So these are, I guess, arms of the star here, and then there's a nifty star shape in the middle. But then we have the template we're going to put on top of that, and the bead on top of that, and you have a little snowflake. We're going to maybe make 2 different styles, but that's the first style we're going. Now we're going to put it together. So these have been sitting a little more than overnight with a can on top of them, just to make sure that glue adhered and that it was nice and strong. They do seem strong. The instructions are, when you use wood glue, to wait 24 hours. So I am in essence going to do that as a whole, but I took the cans off after a little bit overnight. What I mean by that is there was probably about 4 hours of the evening and then overnight. And it's not super early in the morning, so we're about almost 9 o'clock a.m. now, and I'm trying to remember the time, but it was probably about 2 or 3 in the afternoon when I started this project. So we're not quite at the 24-hour mark yet, but I wanted to show you that I wanted to take the cans off, and then I put that little wood bead in the middle. I'm about to do the other one. So I'm just using a plastic knife, scooping out some wood glue. It's a little thicker towards the top, the glue, and I'm using that just to make sure it's really goopy and not as runny. I want to make sure I really get it on there. Make it right on the tip there. And then we're going to stick that in the center using slight pressure, not too much where you end up breaking what you've been working on, but enough that it holds it down pretty good for a few seconds. And then we're going to let that go for the rest of the 24 hours. The beads may take, because they're also being wood glued, they may take a little more as well, because you want the full 24 hours with wood glue. So we're going to check it when it's been 24 hours that we did the rest of it. If this doesn't seem securely on, we're going to wait a little bit longer, maybe possibly another 24 hours. But so this does take time, but it's a little step here and there each one that you do. I could have done this before, but I really liked having a can on here. By doing that, it gave enough of that pressure for the rest of this to hold together. So you really want this to hold together, just so you have an idea what's going on right now. And we're going to let that sit for a little bit longer, well, possibly up to 24 hours. And when that's done, we can paint it and decorate it, and then I'll show you what I do to hang it. They seem like they've cured enough. They've sat here curing for about 4 hours, so with the bead here. So I am going to paint everything white. We're going to let that first coat dry, and then we're going to do a second coat, and then we're going to do the other side. This gives it enough time to keep curing, but also get some paint. We're almost at 2 p.m. on the second day, so we're 24 hours almost into most of this except for the wooden knobs. As you know, we did this morning around 8 a.m. So we're going to keep trying to be gentle just so we don't have any of these pieces break off. But we've got the first coat going on, we're going to do a second coat, and then we're going to flip it to the other side, and it's going to take some time, but it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be really, really cute. Now on the second coat, while this is still curing, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of glitter while it's still wet. I'm going to do silver for this one and gold for the other one. This one seems to have a little mishap here where it came off, so we're going to fix that soon too. Give some touch-ups. Now we had the wood glue on this and it wasn't, obviously it didn't quite take on this one spot, so I'm going to put some E6000 just to kind of strengthen it a little bit more. Just going to hold that a little bit. I'm not sure it's going to take, but we're going to try. This doesn't seem to be holding, so I'm a little nervous about this, folks. I'm not sure. This one seems to be holding up pretty well. This one on this one part is not, so we're going to have to come up with something to keep it strong. You know, people really love this E6000. You see it all the time. I'm not quite convinced. It's not quite holding up to the fuss here, but let me give it time. So our next project has to do with these bells that we got from the Dollar Tree. We have various colors here. I'm going to make, with this very thick gauge wire and these little wire cutters and some paint and some wood beads, we're going to make a little bell hanging ornamentation for the holiday. So I'm going to start painting each bead a different color. I don't really have a gray, but I do have black, but I thought I'm going to do it white for the silver ones. The wood bead will go at the bottom of the wire. So I'm going to paint each bead to match the bells that will be on that particular hanging kit. So we'll start with the white, and then we'll do the gold. Next will be the green, and lastly the red. We'll let these dry, and then we will thread that through and knot the wire the best that we can. It is a very thick, heavy wire, so it'll be able to hold its shape, but it's also pliable, so we can bend it. And we're going to do, hopefully, a really cool hanging bell ornamentation. So as I was telling you before, with these supplies, I made these, a little rustic, but they're cute little jingle bells that you can hang on a door. I made a couple that were smaller that you just want to put on a hook somewhere, but they came out kind of cute. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did it, but these are the 3 I had done so far. So what I'm going to do is I have this very thick gauge wire. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this green yarn because that's going to go around the wire so you don't see this ugly wire. And it kind of hides, it forgives if you have a little bump in it. And then I have these, of course, these bells. It comes in a 6-pack from the Dollar Tree for $1.25. And then these wooden beads. I do have to touch up the red one. It kind of rolled around in the other paint, so I'm going to touch that up. But I have a theme. I have the gold, the green, the silver, and the red. And with the wooden beads, I didn't have silver paint or gray paint, so I did the white there, and I think it's okay. But anyway, we're going to do the red right now. So basically, I'm going to kind of, almost like a candy cane, do this, and I'm going to make, I think this one I'll do like kind of a large, like a large hole so it can go on a doorknob. So we have a couple for the doorknob. If you hear that noise out there, that's my husband using the blower. We're trying to get all the leaves for the third time in our yard, so excuse the noise in the background. But okay, so then I'm going to, with my hand, I'm going to try to hold this where I put this, and I'm going to try to start to twist, and then I'm going to hold it there and use these pliers to kind of work it around a little bit. And just twist and twist and twist till it's kind of locked in there. And anything that might be sticking out, or what, try to get that the best you can. However, we are going to work that out with the yarn too. So there we have, so it's like kind of a circle, but also we have this little twisty thing here. I'm going to try to straighten it and bend it just so we don't have too much of a bend. And then what I'm going to do is put these bells in there. So when I do these, what I'm trying to do is try to put like, so one goes one way, one goes the other. So it kind of, see, they're almost on top of each other. This way you'll get a prettier look and also a nice bell sound, but you'll have more room to work. And they'll move around a little bit, but that's okay. We have this stack here, and now what I'm going to do is take this bottom, and I'm going to put that red bead in there, and then I'm going to push it all the way to the end of the bells, and then I'm going to push this up, almost like a hook almost, but we're going to come back to make almost like a long oval. Push these together with the pliers. You almost have like a little loop at the end, like a long loop. And push those together as best you can, and then I'm going to thread it back through that wood bead. So you'll have this little end here, but all that will be on top of it. So now you have your little bell. So, all right, so now we're going to work on yarning around it, and we're going to yarn here too, and I'll tie knots here and there, and then you'll get that softer look. It'll be easy to the touch, and it'll forgive some of the lumps and bumps. I just did a triple knot here, just so it holds, gives it a starting spot, and I'm going to clip off the end and then start weaving around. You can go right over that knot. Just make sure that where that was sticking out, that you really work that yarn around so it doesn't poke anybody. So now we've got to the base, and now we're going to start looping around and weaving it. And just keep doing that till you have it all the way around. And what I do is at the end here, we have I make like a loop, like I don't quite run it all the way down, so I have a spot where I can weave it through and pull it taut against the wire, and then we've got a little knot. And we're going to do it a few times so it's a good solid knot there. You can sometimes even, while you're weaving it through, kind of make a knot. Trimming off the end. Again, you have a little poke. So they're all a little different. Is it just the way I had the metal, and and then you go, oh, did I make this too thick? Did I make this too long? And did I make this one small? It's all different sizes, but there's our finished bells. Hi everyone.
Hey there.
So So we're back from vacation.
Yes.
And what you had seen was a project that we had done, and we were very excited. We picked up from Facebook Marketplace, but we wanted to finish with that because it wasn't like the main part of the video, but we really just wanted to show you.
Yeah.
We've been working on that since our vacation. We've been working on setting up our village, and it's not that we forgot to film it, but we just figured you don't need to see that every single year. You don't want to see us do that. Maybe you do, I don't know. We change it every single year.
Yeah, we
so we just thought maybe, you know, you might not want to see it this year, but if you really do want to see it next year, we'll remember that. We'll make it a yearly thing.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of fun setting it up.
It
Coming
is.
up with a new story every year. We really have a lot of fun with it. It's good.
It is fun. Yeah, and it definitely starts the excitement of the season.
Right.
So
It might be a little bit early for some people, but we really, after Halloween's over, we get into the spirit of Christmas.
we really do.
exciting,
It's
yeah.
so exciting.
And if you put so much work into the village, to setting it up, you want to enjoy it for a longer period of time to make it worthwhile. I think,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we did that. We did a few crafts. Like I've told you before, if you've been watching our videos, you'll know that we actually run a booth as well. I don't know if we're going to continue to do it or not, but for a while we're continuing, especially through the holidays. And with doing that booth, you have to come up with creative things. We do a lot of reselling, but also we also like to do crafts and whatnot. So we've been mildly successful with the crafts, but we're trying to expand and do other things. But this is the holiday season, so more of that is more like, you know, I think people are out and about looking for ornaments and crafts at that
Right.
time of year. Maybe not the rest of the year. It's not a crafty time of year. And we're not super crafty people, so it has to be somewhat easy crafts. So we do show in this, as you saw, we do show a few crafts, but we'll be thinking of more for sure as the season progresses.
We always come up with something.
Yeah, but we just wanted to show you a few things that we're doing, but also the village. And we just wanted to do a smooth transition after vacation. It's hard to get motivated and get into a lot of projects after you're in vacation
Oh,
mode.
it is. It's hard to get back. Yeah, but
Much needed vacation.
yes, we had some good rest, a good R&R. It's nice to get away from it all for a little while, and now we're back to it. We're having a lot of fun creating some good content for you. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we have some great ideas ahead.
Yes, we do.
Next week we'll have a great idea coming your way, and then in the near future we do have a room redo for
Yes.
our son, his bedroom, and I'm really looking forward to it. We're doing it a little bit at a time, just because all these other things keep popping up that we have to do. So we're not able. So we're going to compile it all for you to see within all these weeks of getting little things together. So you'll see it in one video.
Yeah.
But we'll be doing that soon in a few weeks. We really hope you're enjoying November so far. It's definitely been an interesting November so far.
Weather-wise and everything else. It's
Yes, and all kinds of things out in the world. But for sure, we've got great ideas coming your way. It's a fun holiday season, so stay tuned. We thank you for watching.
Absolutely. Please give us a like if you like this kind of content, and subscribe. We love the support. I appreciate it.
We really do. Thanks so much.
Thanks. See you next week.
See you next week.